CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Najahe Sherman, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Off the top, a shocking crime at a South Florida library. A 15-year-old says a man exposed himself to her. That man is now behind bars. This afternoon, we hear from the mother of the victim. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor has the story.
The victim and her 3 siblings were here at the library for only 20 minutes, according to police, when the subject committed his crime. Now, let's take a look at who this individual is. Keith Xavier Robertson, 34, appeared in bond court today. This individual, according to police, exposed himself inside the Miami Gardens Library, located at 2455 Northwest 183rd Street on Wednesday evening. It happened after 6 p.m.
I'm disgusted, I'm hurt, I was enraged, like all of that, because one, she's 15 and she went to a public place where there are multiple adults there, but no one is there when someone is in distress.
So the subject was finally arrested, but this individual was confronted by the victim's mother as she was driving back here to the library. And as unbelievable as it may sound, police say that the subject pulled out a gun. Yes, he pulled out a gun. We have details of what really transpired at 5 and 6 p.m. on CBS News Miami. We are in Miami Gardens. Yvonne Taylor, back to you.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
And taking a live look outside, it looks like air you can wear, hot and humid across South Florida, but thunderstorms have once again developed. Next weather meteorologist Cindy Pressler is tracking what's ahead.
Looks pretty nice out there right now, but earlier, yes, we had a lot of thunderstorms that came through the Miami airport, the Coral Gables area, and into the downtown area with gusty winds. We had heavy rain, downpours, and again, a lot of lightning with those storms. Temperature has gone back up now to 89 degrees. The high today so far has been 90. So when the storms came through, the temperature dropped quickly in just a few minutes down to 74 degrees at the airport. Incredible. So now you can see, yes, we've got the sea breezes, the boundaries coming back in across the central part of the state, and now redevelopment here from these thunderstorms across Miami-Dade County, and they're working their way back to the north. So again, this afternoon, we're likely to see some showers and thunderstorms, at least over the western metro areas, probably from about the Homestead area up to maybe Kendall. Those are the spots right along Chrome Avenue. You could see some more rain this afternoon. We did get some heavy downpours in spots, I think around the airport, 27, right along I-95, as much as an inch, at least radar estimates are showing about an inch of rain, but most areas maybe a quarter of an inch, a tenth to a quarter of an inch. So that whole system moved very quickly off the coast. So we say goodbye to that, and we'll watch for those storms to develop across the south. Temperature now 91 degrees to Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale has not seen the rain today, so it has not been allowed to cool off. It is now back up to 89 here, but 86 degrees in Homestead because there are some showers and storms again. Much warmer out here in Collier County where the air has not been touched by showers and thunderstorms. So if you take a look at our rain tracker, our model, we do have at least down here, I would watch here, but we've got some showers and storms that could be possible across Broward County this afternoon again as well. And they have a lot of moisture. There's a lot of juice with them, so heavy downpours possible with these storms. By 7 o'clock, you might get a little bit that's coming into the metro, but a lot of this is going to be across the interior and the west side. Our flow, over a flow, a loft, is coming out of the east, so it should push these storms off to the west. Friday afternoon, again, there could be some coastal showers and storms. However, a drier pattern is ready to settle in, and that's going to give us a beautiful weekend. If we can get a cold front to move through here, things are looking just awesome as we head into the weekend. How much rain? Of course, the heavier rain will be across the southern areas. Could see as much as a half an inch, maybe up to an inch. So we're waiting on that front to come through. Once it does, this weekend will be just beautiful. Lower humidity, cooler temperatures, topping out in the 80s.
A gas leak scare is over in Miami Gardens. Chopper 4 was over the scene. This was along Northwest 161st Terrace and 30th Avenue, and that's not far from St. Thomas University. Miami-Dade Fire Rescue told us 4 houses were evacuated. That evacuation has been lifted. Danger on the expressway. 2 men arrested. They're accused of a high-speed chase on the Palmetto Expressway yesterday. 29-year-old Edward Payne and 22-year-old Ikamith Joseph are facing several charges after leading police on a pursuit. The silver SUV was eventually boxed in by police and brought to a stop along Northwest 47th Avenue. Both men were arrested and taken to jail. Now at 4, the father accused of killing his 2-year-old daughter in Pembroke Pines faced a judge this morning. The judge denied bond for 33-year-old Geronimo Duran. He is charged with first-degree murder. Police say it happened Tuesday morning after Duran picked up his daughter from her mother's house and brought her back to his grandmother's house where he lived. His grandmother came home and made that gruesome discovery. She called 911. We have learned that there was a 2023 custody court filing. It shows Duran has a history of mental illness, drug abuse, and domestic violence towards the child and the child's mother. Calling all hunters, registration for the annual Florida Python Challenge is underway. CBS News Miami's Joe Gorcho has the breakdown.
So a big thing when catching snakes is to remember there is no rush.
With a watchful gaze, the Burmese python keeps its eyes on its hunter.
One of the big key tips is to commit.
Using a pole with a hook, circling the snake to tire it out, bracing for a potential strike, eventually committing to pin the invasive creature successfully.
They're so good, they're professionals, they're really good at it. I don't think they get nervous at all.
Part of the demo capture, Tom Reinert. He's the regional director for the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. Reinert says the Burmese python has created a huge ecological issue by threatening and preying on native Everglades wildlife.
Losing that species diversity is really bad for the environment.
And so the Python Challenge was ushered in over a decade ago, rising in popularity with over 1,000 participants last year from 35 different states.
During the summer, they're out more at night, so it's also cooler then, and they're looking for food.
At Thursday's press conference, they announced the 2024 Python Challenge with open registration ahead of the event between August 9th through August 19th.
We are not only inheriting our environment from our parents, we are borrowing it from our children. And what I'll say is that for us, the Florida Everglades is a valuable ecosystem that we always strive to protect.
Florida's Lieutenant Governor added that under the DeSantis administration, they've captured over 13,000 Burmese pythons.
If this problem doesn't get fixed, what happens behind us?
The governor has said, why do we spend billions of dollars to fix the Everglades? They're disrupting the ecosystem. We don't want to turn over all this great work that we're doing to restore the Everglades to an invasive species. So we need to get it under control.
Happening tomorrow, good news for drivers in downtown Fort Lauderdale. All 4 lanes of the Kinney Tunnel are expected to reopen. This doesn't mean that lane closures are over. The project won't be done until at least late summer. The upgrades include stormwater pumps, new lighting, and vehicle sensors. It is a critical night in the hunt for the Stanley Cup. The Panthers are in New York for Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final. The series is tied. The last 3 games have gone into overtime, but now the series shifts to New York. They will need at least one more win there to advance. The puck drops at 8 tonight from Madison Square Garden. The series then shifts back to Sunrise for Game 6 on Saturday night. And a reminder before each Panthers game, check out our pregame show, Hunt for the Cup. It is hosted by Mike Cunio and Steve Goldstein. We have you covered tonight ahead of Game 5 starting at 7:30. Tune in to CBSMiami.com, the CBS News app, or Pluto TV. Dolphins wide receiver Jalen Waddle is getting a 3-year extension from the Dolphins. According to CBS Sports lead NFL insider, the deal is worth more than $84 million. That includes $76 million guaranteed. He's now the 4th highest paid receiver in the NFL. When we come back, the very latest on the Trump hush money trial. We are live from New York. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. It is day 2 of jury deliberations in former President Donald Trump's trial in New York. He is facing 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. Prosecutors say he tried to conceal a repayment to adult film star Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Trump has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. He claims the trial is politically motivated. CBS News Miami's Michael George joins us live from New York. Michael.
Well, Naja, here's what we've heard from the jurors over the last few hours. Nothing, which tells us they're focused on deliberations. So we're waiting. Donald Trump is waiting. The whole country is waiting. But this morning, the jury asked to review some key testimony. Several jurors took notes as Judge Juan Merchan read instructions about how the jury can assess the testimony of an accomplice, which in this case is Michael Cohen, former President Donald Trump's one-time fixer.
That instruction essentially was to jurors, if you convict, you cannot do so based solely on the testimony of an accomplice. You can convict if the juror finds Cohen's testimony credible and there's additional corroboration.
The jury also heard portions of testimony from David Pecker, the former publisher of the National Enquirer, as well as testimony from Cohen. That includes accounts of a meeting the two had with Trump in 2015 to discuss an alleged catch-and-kill scheme to bury scandals ahead of the 2016 presidential election.
What we see right now is they're taking their job seriously. They ask for specific portions of the instructions. They ask for specific portions of the evidence. They ask for headphones, probably meaning that they want to hear some recordings of conversations.
The presumptive Republican presidential nominee is facing 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. Prosecutors say he tried to conceal a repayment to Cohen for hush money paid to adult film star Stormy Daniels. The former president, who denies any wrongdoing, expressed his frustration with the proceedings.
We'll be here, looks like a long time. Thank you.
The jury is comprised of 7 men and 5 women, including 2 lawyers. To find Trump guilty, the jury would have to reach a unanimous decision. Outside the courthouse, security has been stepped up in anticipation of the verdict. And when that verdict comes in, we should know what it is fairly quickly. As for the possible sentencing, that may take weeks or even months, because if former President Trump is found guilty, it's almost certain he'll appeal. Reporting live in Manhattan, Michael George. Naja, back to you.
Michael, thank you for the live report. And that is the CBS News Miami Quickcast. I'm Najahe Sherman. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami, and have a wonderful day.